Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The boss of Wagner Group, the mercenary Russian group, has an audio message for CNN, and I will play it for you. So he was asked a question by CNN, and he's going to tell CNN a few things. So let's play the tape, and then we can talk about it. Let's see. This is coming from CNN. Obviously, let's make it big. It's going to be translated, so I don't have to interfere.
The Russian private army, the Wagner Group, lashed out in a response to a question from CNN about whether he would be holding a press conference in Russia.
We are getting ready for a long, hard war. The first message to CNN is that you have to respect Russia.
Now, Prigozhin went on to issue a violent and graphic threat. Certainly not the first time that Prigozhin...
Can we hear it, please? I would like to hear that graphic, because I think that has all the taste necessary. We don't have it here. Probably some other people will post it in its entirety and with the proper translation, but we are on here. So what was that? CNN first thing has to respect Russia. As I always say, respect is earned. Let's say Prigozhin thinks that Russia is a big country as it is, with nuclear weapons, with traditions, with history, with any other things, should be respected. That means you should talk to Russia as you would talk to Germany. But I know Germany doesn't have balls, but nevertheless, talk like with a man, not like squeakly over there. So, do you think that Prigozhin is, wrong about it? First, let me give you a little story where I read it. I can't remember where I read it, but supposedly that's how the story goes. It was the former U.S. President, Lincoln, and no, it was not Lincoln, my bad. It was George Washington, the general and then the president. So he was walking with someone else, and a slave greeted him, good evening or good afternoon, whatever he addressed, sir or... And George Washington, took his hat off and saluted back. And the person he was walking with asked George Washington, why would you degrade yourself to salute, to greet a slave? And this is George Washington's answer. What, do you want to show that he's better than me? Or do you want me to be below him? So something like that, which means if I wouldn't have answered, he would have shown that he has more class than I do. So I have to give him at least the same level. Even I don't think George Washington saw that particular person in a certain way like an equal at that time, right? He owned slaves and so on. But he respected himself enough to answer it, because he said, I'm not going to allow that person that probably he disconsidered, have the upper hand, have more class than him. But he respected himself. So the same here. If you respect yourself, even with a criminal, respecting yourself meaning you keep your frame, you maintain your frame. You don't go to his frame. If a person starts showing things and talking a certain way, why would you, decrease to his level, go to his level? You keep your frame. You are who you are because you are who you are. Because if you lower yourself to his standards, that means you're like him. He dragged you. He controlled you. He controlled your attitude. That means you lost your frame. We all make these mistakes from time to time, but you sometimes can catch it and sometimes don't even look through it. So yes, I think Prigozhin's first thing is you have to respect Russia. Not to respect it that probably Prigozhin meant, hey, we're someone and that's his opinion and I can have certain assessments of Russia as I have at any other country or anything else. Because I think and I know. So I might like this or I might not like it, but that's my own opinion on it or assessment. The same with Russia. But if you respect yourself, you will ask the questions in a certain manner to show that you respect yourself in the first place. And unfortunately, these so-called journalists, they don't respect themselves. They think that if they show outrage through a vile speech, or yelling or trying to look down on the person they're interviewing. Sometimes watch how they interviewed Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the former president of Iran, a very intelligent person, and others, and see how demeaning they talk to these guys. But when they talk with semi-conscious Biden on other people, they play ball with, like with children. Yes, pass it back, pass it here. Now, Prigozhin, according to her, and I believe it, he probably said, I'm not going to say. Anyway, that's him. But it doesn't mean you have to lower yourself to that standard. And he didn't say you have to respect me. He said you have to respect Russia. So he even thought of something outside of his ego and his level. He thought about the motherland or fatherland, however they call it. So, anyway, respect yourself, maintain your frame, and don't lower yourself to or degrade yourself to those peoples, whomever they want to drag you down because they can't climb. You try to get them up, there are others who try to get you up. But if you can't, you can't. We all have our limitations. I have many people that tried to explain to me something when I was younger, and I didn't get it because that was my limitation at that time. And I'm pretty sure I have my limitation. Not pretty sure. I know I have my limitations right now. But accept you have limitations. Try to to break those ceilings or whatever, and open different doors in your brain of knowledge and information, and maybe you will be able to break away, get into a different dimension. But we're not going to be flying, levitating. I mean, leave me alone with yoga and all those yogi levitating over the Tibetan mountains and so on. Forget about it. I studied that. I was very interested in that. All right, forget about it. So, as I said, we can't achieve certain things even if we want. But mentally, again, we're going to reach a level where we can't go further. And that's it. You accept your limitation, that's it. You try, but don't be upset because we all have them. And they're lower or, higher. So this was the message from Mr. Prigozhin. I think it was an intelligent message. First, you have to respect Russia and talk to us as you talk to Russians or to Russia itself. Well, and then he said, I'm assuming, according to that CNN anchor or whatever she is. So stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.